The first thing that pulled me into Mahjong wasn't the strategy. It was the feeling of the game. The tiles are cool, smooth, and heavy in your hands, and there's nothing quite like the sound they make when you mix them across the table. American Mahjong sets come in all kinds of sizes, colors, and designs now. Some are classic, some are colorful, and some are completely unexpected. One of my favorite sets is Wizard of Oz themed, and another has cakes, cookies, and donuts instead of traditional flowers. That's what makes Mahjong so interesting today. It's not just a game anymore. It's also art, design, history, and personal style. But behind all the modern designs, there's a much older tradition. Mahjong is played with tiles, kind of like rummy, where players draw and discard tiles while trying to complete a winning hand. There are three main suits: dots, cracks, and bams. Dots are round circles, cracks are based on Chinese characters, and bams usually represent bamboo. Then you have winds, dragons, flowers, and in American Mahjong, jokers. Every tile has meaning, but some tiles also leave room for creativity. The one dot is especially beautiful because artists can create so many different designs inside one simple circle. The one bam, often called the bird bam, is another tile where you can really see the personality of the artist. Mahjong first developed around Shanghai and the Yangtze River Delta in the mid to late 1800s. When the game reached the United States in the 1920s, it was marketed as an ancient royal game from China. That idea helped create a huge craze. Thousands and thousands of Mahjong sets were produced, many of them carved by hand. Over time, the designs became more standardized, especially as machines replaced hand carving. But the older, high-end sets were different. They were made by skilled craftspeople who carved tiny, delicate details into each tile, sometimes with unbelievable precision. Today, newly produced hand-carved tiles are rare. Machine-made tiles can look beautiful, but they don't carry the same personal touch. A hand-carved tile feels like an individual work of art. You can feel the difference when you hold it. Hong Kong-style tiles are especially unique. They're usually chunkier, heavier, and simpler than American Mahjong tiles. They don't use the same racks, and the tiles are often placed directly on the table. They may not be as colorful or decorative as modern American sets, but that's part of what makes them special. For me, the search for a hand-carved Hong Kong set became almost like a treasure hunt. I took my first Mahjong lesson in August or September of 2025. At first, I kept seeing the game online, but I didn't really know anything about it. So I started researching, and I discovered that many traditional Mahjong tiles were originally made in Hong Kong. That led me down a rabbit hole. Eventually, after a lot of searching, I found someone on Instagram who had visited one of the last female Mahjong artisans in Hong Kong. After many messages and emails, I ended up sending money overseas to buy a hand-carved set. It felt risky, but it also felt meaningful. I wanted something special, something connected to a craft that may not always be around. I really hope hand-carved Mahjong continues as an art form. And right now, there is a global resurgence of interest in Mahjong, which may help keep that tradition alive. But modern American Mahjong has also become its own world. For many players, the fun isn't only in the game. It's in the tiles, the racks, the mat, the dice, the coasters, the dishes, and the full tablescape. People now plan their Mahjong tables almost like they're styling a dinner party. They ask each other, what mat would go with these tiles? Or, what racks should I use with this set? That aesthetic side has made the game more inviting for a new generation. At the same time, it raises an interesting question. If the tiles change so much that they no longer look traditional, is it still the same game? Some longtime players love the classic designs because they connect them to their mothers, grandmothers, and decades of family memories. Newer players may love the colorful, playful, and modern sets because that's what brought them into the game. Both sides matter. Mahjong has always traveled across cultures, changed with communities, and taken on new meanings. But it would be sad if American Mahjong became completely disconnected from the larger global history of the game. Because one of the most powerful things about Mahjong is how it connects people across generations, cultures, and backgrounds. For artisans working to preserve the craft, that connection is personal. Some families have spent decades making Mahjong tiles by hand. They've seen the popularity of the game rise, fall, and rise again. Now, some are trying to combine contemporary illustration with traditional carving techniques. They study the history behind the patterns, recreate lost tools, and train younger people to keep the craft alive. It isn't easy. Hand carving takes time, patience, and years of practice. But every tile carries a piece of that effort. And if people continue to care about the game, the art, and the history behind it, there's still hope that these skills can be passed on. Mahjong may look like a simple game on the surface. But inside every tile, there's design, memory, culture, and craftsmanship. And maybe that's why the sound of those tiles on a table still feels so special. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe for more videos like this. Comment below and tell us, would you rather play with a traditional hand-carved Mahjong set or a modern colorful one? And share this video with someone who loves games, history, or beautiful craftsmanship.